Thank you for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. It is nice to say hello to you guys. We changed the perspective of the studio. We changed it to all black. I think that it looks great. I think that it looks, it looks great, and it looks more, in a way, professional. In a way, more serious. I like it. I like it a lot. And we tried today to change it. We just put a couple of things right here behind me. The couple of things, it is the recent accomplishments that we have done, covering the treasure Darien Gap, which is the award that we won in Colombia. That is the Emergent Awards for best coverage of the Darien Gap, and also the medal that Centerfront gave us for the bravery of covering, basically, where Centerfront, the authorities, the border authorities of Panama, they combat the organized crime and the cartel of Clan del Golfo, and also the award that we receive in Congress of Colombia. I think that those accomplishments, they are well documented, and ultimately, uh, you know, uh, we appreciate everything that all of you have done for us. It's because of you guys that we are where we are, and we continue to do what we continue to do. Thank you so much for joining in, Oscar Blue. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat, for every single one of you. Thank you, and thank you for all your undeniable support. Um, we are doing a Q&A. I did a video earlier today. My internet was lagging. The audio was horrible. I don't know what happened. It's censorship. It is to the highest extent in my pages. We have been censored since 2020. It started really bad on 2019, and it escalated in 2020. And you know, it escalated really bad, into a point that we were targeted by all leftist progressive media, and our pages got extremely censored. You got to be kidding me. We have 108,000 people in Facebook. And if you go to Facebook right now, it shows that it's only like 3 to 4 people. We got more than 50,000 in YouTube. And if you go right now to the page, it shows, not even 100. We got almost 40,000 in an X. And it's the platform that a lot of the people watch me the most. The one that I have a lot is TikTok. I have a lot of it, but it's Spanish speaking audience. I got more than half a million over there, and I got like 108,000 in the in Instagram. And when I go live at Instagram, I only get like 4 people. It's just, it has been horrible, and this targets, our undeniable support for us to continue, for us to move forward, and for us to, to do the best that we can. We changed the background. I think that it's great. It looks great. We got some lighting. I don't know what you guys think of the lighting. I think that it looks good, but the audience is the one that, at the end of the day, the audience is the one that gives us the opinion of how the lighting looks. The audio, hopefully, it is good for all of you guys. And it looks good, and hopefully you like this background. It is more serious. I wanted to put something like this for the longest of time, black curtain, or burgundy curtain, something like that on the back, and just me on the microphone and showing you guys everything that is going on. So hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully it is of your pleasure, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Um, so I will try to do a Q&A right now for every single one of you. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll put some comments right here on the platform. It says, from Kansas City, Missouri, you're doing a great job, Oscar. Thank you for so much for your reporting. Thank you so much. Buy me a coffee is right there. Thank you so much for every single one of you. Looks good. I like all the photos and stuff. Yes, professional. Thank you so much. Yes, the photos are back there. I can change the scenario whenever I please, but I really got tired of it. And it is the lighting. It's always it reflects a lot on the screen. So uh, you know, it was bothering just moving around. The light it reflects on the photographs, and it was just really difficult. So Q&A, people, uh, whatever you want to ask, go ahead. Oscar, I'd rather be here than at the NFL. uh, I'd rather be watching a whatever it is, man, to be watching that liberal that it's the boyfriend of Taylor Swift. What is it? The Kansas City Chief tight end, I believe so. Uh, it's just disgusting. The NFL, I don't know what the hell happened to the NFL, man. It's not manly anymore, man. I'm sorry. I share your post on Facebook and they flagged it and it took it down. It's just really bad. It's just really bad. I am I'm tired of it. I'm just sharing Facebook out of the respect for the audience that which I started with. I started, with a lot of the audience in Facebook. I started in Facebook, so it's out of the respect. I really do not want to go live anymore on Facebook. It's bad. It's a platform that it doesn't support freedom of speech, so it's really bad. Why should I? I should go live at Rumble. I should go live at all those places. So I'm really close to migrating to Rumble and leaving Facebook alone just to upload little videos here and there. And it's just bad. It's just really bad. There's a comment right here. Your background looks nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. I changed it to black. So I think that I can do multiple reporting and multiple broadcasts like this and recorded videos, and it will look much serious. So I really love it. I like it a lot. Here you go. Enjoy your content from Israel. When will you be returning there? I wish that I can go again as early as possible. I don't have the funds to do that. I'll be honest with you. It's really hard to pay by yourself the plane ticket and all of this stuff, that you got to. It's far away. I live in Mexico. So I had to fly from Tijuana to Mexico, from Mexico City to Madrid or Rome, from Rome to Tel Aviv, Israel, from Israel to transport myself to Jerusalem and stay there for 10, 12 days, maintain myself for 10, 12 days, move around. Good thing that I'm with Chuck all the time. I will not be at Israel without Chuck. I will tell you that. Chuck Holton. That's my mentor. Even this pin that I got right here, you guys don't see it, but it has the Israel flag and the Mexican flag, together. So, I wish that I can go. Right now, it's hot in Lebanon. We were right there at the Malkia border, next to Lebanon and Northern Galilee. We were at Jish. We were in Kiryat Shimona. Uh, we were at those kind of places, and it was hot. Really was. It was every day. There was constant attacks of Hezbollah into the Israel territory in Northern Galilee. We had a couple of incidents right there in Kiryat Shimona. But I wish that I can return as fast as I can, man. I wish that I can. I pray a lot, that I could travel as fast as I can. I don't have the funds to do that, to travel as other people they do, as other people have the ability to do so. I don't have that ability, but I pray about it, and I wish that I can go as easy as fast as possible. If you guys, somebody's asking how can I support, Buy Me a Coffee is right there. It's an app. It is pinned in the chat. You go in there, you click on it, and then it will take you to buy coffees. And every coffee is $5. So whatever you want to contribute, that's great for me. Does YouTube do the censoring too? Yes, I've been censored by YouTube without monetizing since 2020. It's been 4 years since YouTube took away my monetization. Even the bad thing about it, just for everybody to know, this is how bad it is. It's been 4 years without me monetizing on YouTube. It's so bad. And the biggest video that I had was the Darien Gap documentary that I released on YouTube. And when I released the documentary, we had a possibility to monetize again, and YouTube just said no, and they completely my video of the documentary went viral on YouTube. It has been the most seen documentary video of the Darien Gap in Spanish in all. And it's so sad that they took that for their own monetization, and it has over I don't know how many millions of views. And it's just sad. It's just sad, the way that they have been censoring us. It's just really bad. Where do we support you? It is down there. It is Buy Me a Coffee app. It's down there. If you guys want to contribute, thank you so much. Thank you for your support of Israel, Oscar. Thank you. God bless you. Stay out for now because it's getting hot over there. No, this will be the best time to go over there to report. Why should I stay out of the current situation of Israel when that is supposed to be the time that we should be over there, man? That we should be reporting. It's not, when things get hard, you don't run away from things. It's when you confront. It's when you go at it. That's when when you start doing it. Thanks so much for your very dangerous word. You're a very brave soul. Thank you so much, Marlene Manian. Thank you so much. Okay, that Darien Gap left me in tears, saying tears. Yeah, it's really difficult. Really difficult. What is your take on the new Panama president? Is he really going to have the guts to stop the Darien Gap now? He has. He has stopped, the mass migration. He has decreased it a lot. But the thing about it is that, the elections came about, the Venezuelan elections. So out of a humanitarian existence and issue, he started letting people, still walk through one particular pathway. He closed almost, I think it was almost 14 kilometers with concertina wire on top of the jungle. You don't even know how difficult that is. That is extremely difficult. But he went over there because I've been there, and he closed it, and he closed some routes. That these routes are used by the cartel of Clan del Golfo of Colombia. And he started decreasing their power for them to be smuggled. So now they're using one route, and there's, still people coming, but it's not the same. Now, I have been doing reports about Venezuelans now migrating through South America, through more to the south, and it's through Brazil, to a border that is called Pacaraima. This border has been influx, and I did a report on it, and I'm gonna do a report and later report for you guys in English. 500 to 600 Venezuelans per day, they're migrating through this place because Lula, the president of Brazil, just said, you know what, I will let you in without no passport. The curious thing and the strange thing about it is that when the United States of America is trying to screen or is trying to filter or trying to ask for a DNA test for individuals that are crossing specifically for unaccompanied children or minors, the leftist media and the leftist organizations and NGOs start going crazy and start accusing the government of the United States of being racist, of being fascist, or being all this, xenophobic and all this kind of stuff. Lula is a leftist communist president, and he's letting in by between 500 and 600. But get to this point, he's asking them if they're not vaccinated with 5 vaccinations, he's not going to let them in. So they have to have the yellow fever vaccine, the triple viral vaccine, the hepatitis B vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and also the tetanus vaccine. That is the only one that is extremely obligated to have. How crazy is that? Brazil, that has a leftist president, he's allowing them to enter without no passport, but he's demanding them to get these kind of vaccines. So, they're migrating to the south now. They're around the count that they have migrated in the past month of August. It has been around, they say, 12,000, some fraction. It's a really small fraction in comparison to what is going on to the United States. Of course, absolutely. But it's a number, it's a number that it catches your attention. And why they're migrating down south? Because they're not being asked for a passport. In comparison to the United States of America, they're not asking for anything. They can enter and they just lift their hands for asylum. But ultimately, the the route from South America to the north, it is much treacherous, it is expensive, and it is much difficult. So if you ask me a question, the Panamanian government is doing it is the only government that is trying to do something. It is the only government that has protected the more humanitarian way the migrants. It is the only government that has completely done something about it. It is the only government that has put an example about it. And the Panamanian president just went to the United Nations and the panel, and he spoke and he said, "We are not going to be radicalized with United Nations policies. This we are going to respect our constitution, respect our laws, and we're going to treat people as human beings. But we have a law." And it sounded phenomenal, because you're not giving the power of your borders ultimately all to the United Nations. So I hope that I answered your question. Is it true some Mexican states are unhappy and might separate from the rest of Mexico? I heard something like this in YouTube channel that is from the Texas exit movement. No, that's a lie. That is completely a lie. We are not separating from. No, they talked about California back in the day, the state that I live in, Baja California. And there was a speculation that they might separate, California, that it used to be Alto California, old California from the United States of America. The name used to be Alto California and Baja California, where we live at. So they wanted to separate it and make it one country, the whole California, every California. I wanted to make my country. But everybody started saying, you're absolutely nuts. And it's just a crazy idea to just try to make it happen. Oscar, I've been following you from your home. Long time back in 2016, 2017, you were reporting on migrants being held in the UN shelters. Are the UN buildings still there? What UN shelters? I don't remember. I think they were just shelters at all. There's a lot of shelters now that they're being built. The biggest shelter, it is Embajadores de Jesus, which a lot of the universities from the United States of America, as USD, SDSU, all these universities have been donating to, that shelter is huge. It has grown so much, man. It has educational buildings, it has careers, it has all this kind of stuff. I wish that I can go and do a report, but it is being run by leftists. So it's really hard to try to get an unbiased opinion over there. It's really hard. Springfield experiencing HIB. Is it that confirmed? Okay. Let me just one comment right here. Hi, Oscar. How have you been, and how is Rocky? Hope you're everything well. Watching him from Brisbane, Australia, all the way to say hello, all the way to Australia. The new dog that I adopted. Yes, his nickname when I adopted him. I didn't like it. It was Killer. Still, my son calls him Killer, and I told him, no, man, just stop with the killer stuff. Name him Rocky, and he's doing okay. The guy sleeps the whole day. He's 2 years of age. I consider him still a pup. So he's sleeping on my bed. Sometimes he goes on my bed. Sometimes he goes on my son's bed. But he's doing great. I took him for a walk the other day, and yeah, he's kind of shy still. But I hope that he gets around and he gets used to me, and we start building a great relationship like I did with Negro. My favorite out of the three that I got. That's my favorite dog. Here we go. Christ is a fake. He is an idol. Turn to the God of Israel, or pray or perish from his great wrath. God bless you. God bless you. I got the Bible right here. And as you are speaking, I will just open the Bible and I will pray for you. Let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go to 7. Number 7. And it goes to Psalm 84, the one that opened. It says, how lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts. My soul longs, yes, faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and flesh sing for joy for the living God. Even the sparrow finds a home, and the swallow a nest for himself, where she may lay her young at your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. God bless you. That's a little paragraph of Psalm 84. Jesus Christ is my savior. What Christ are you talking about? God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in Q&A for every single one of you that is watching. In a couple of days, we are going to be releasing a massive report on a specific NGO operating right here in San Diego, California, and in Tijuana. Uh, and you know, and we will be releasing this report uh, by by Real America's Boys News. This NGO, it is making tax return. They received more than $5 million. Unbelievable. Tax return $5 million, and they're receiving out of the federal grants your tax money to continue to operate. And what they do is just, for them, it's incredible. It's a money making machine there. It's modern day slavery. They're making money out of the human misery and human vulnerabilities because they crossed the migrants into the United States of America. But, you know, ultimately after that, they don't follow the process and they never go back to court. So it is considered to be a mule of people crossing them without, continuing the process of, you know, basically documenting them for them to stay. It's unbelievable what they're doing, and they're receiving millions of dollars of this. So, it's we're going to release a report in the next incoming days in Real America's Boys News. Oscar, why is the other than Mexican policy? Why is the other than Mexican policy allowed? I'm in Texas, coastal, been where half of my neighbors are first generation Mexican. I don't understand your question, brother. I really don't. I think you wrote it a little bit incorrect, so I don't understand your question. Oscar, God bless you. We are so glad to found you. Truly a blessing. Thank you so much, Judy Tracy. Thank you. God bless your dear heart. Thank you so much. Hey, Oscar, tuning in. Thank you for all you do and reporting the truth. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Q&A. Buy me a coffee is right there. Completely appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to travel soon. It's really difficult to get the funds to do that. Last time I got help by Chuck Holton. He sent me a lot of his audience to contribute and to help me out. I'm trying to travel again. It's really difficult to do that. So we are, expecting to travel as soon as we can, as soon as we save a little bit of money, to give you guys the truth of the news. I hope that I can go again to Israel, before October 7th. It will be a phenomenal experience to me to go, to see what Israel or Jerusalem or which place they're going to do for October 7th. It is sad to go to the airport. And when you go into the airport into Israel, it is sad to see all the banners or the hostages. It's really sad to see that, man. It's really sad to see, young kids just being held hostage, as the last ones that they were reported, the 6 ones that they found dead underneath a tunnel, 120 meters underneath. Sad to see that, but when I was flying out of Israel, you go to this tunnel and it's kind of like a little hill going down for you to board your plane. And then you have a whole line of 2 lines of long banners, man, of all the hostages. And it's really sad to see that, man. I did a little video about it, like, directing myself to Anthony Blinken for his stupidity of his negotiation with the ceasefire with Hamas. When has the United States become a country that you negotiate with terrorists? I really do not. I never in my life, thought, in my life, thought that the United States will be negotiating with terrorists. And we see now that Anthony Blinken, it is, negotiating. It's just unbelievable. Hello, Oscar, coming in late. Good to see you. Good evening. Love and prayers from Kentucky. Hey, say hello to all the way to Kentucky. How about a GoFundMe? Maybe we just better start buying coffee. I hope that I can start one, but when you start a GoFundMe, the liberals take it down. They start reporting on it, and they report it for several different situations, and it's really hard to follow through and for them to give you back the money. So it's just, it's really difficult. Can you explain different levels of Buy Me a Coffee membership and talk about your merch, toys? Not sure everyone knows. Yeah, you can become a member at Buy Me a Coffee. Also, that will be a monthly entrance for me. That actually helps for me to keep me afloat, gas money, equipment, and all this kind of stuff. Data for my phones and all this kind of stuff. It keeps me afloat. For me to continue importing internet, all that kind of stuff. So that you can become a member. Also, the different levels is that you can donate however you want: $5, $10, $15, $20, how many coffees you want. And the merch, there's a store where you can buy some shirts. Also, there's God's plan is our mission. That is our slogan. And basically that helps a lot. Also, it goes directly to the fund. So, um, thank you so much. Thank you, Michael Siegel. Thank you for putting that out. Thank you. Elizabeth, Dios te bendiga grandemente. Gracias por hablar con la verdad, al que algunos quizás se revienten. Gracias, muchas gracias. Let me answer this comment in Spanish. Muchas gracias, te lo agradezco de todo corazón. Sí, ese es el problema más grande que he tenido, de tratar de platicar con la gente de izquierda, porque yo no soy ni de la extrema derecha, ni mucho menos soy una persona normal que no está de acuerdo con la izquierda, y en particular con la izquierda. Es asquerosa su agenda el día de hoy. No son izquierda de la oposición al imperio o la oposición a la mejora de la vida y la unión. Es el progresismo, izquierdismo, marxismo, socialismo, comunismo asqueroso. Gracias, Elizabeth. Oscar, have you heard about ads that the Democrats are putting out in Australia asking them to vote in the U.S. elections? I saw it today in X, and some Australians have confirmed it. Well, it can go both ways. Republicans can do it also. Why Republicans are not doing it? That's the other question. They should be doing it. Promote it for Americans that they live in Australia, or for Americans that they live in Spain, or for Americans that live in Italy, or for Americans that live in Germany. It's not a time to play nice. I have said this multiple times. It's not a time to be gentle. These people are not gentle. Somebody bought me a coffee. 50 Mike bought me 5 coffees. Thank you so much, 50 Mike. 50. Thank you, and thank you. It's not a time to be gentle, people. It's time to pray. It's time to find God. It's time to fight for God. Really, that's the time. It is not a time to be gentle. Really, it is not a time. This is a spiritual war, an information warfare. It is all war around. We need to not be gentle anymore. We need to not be. They take kindness for weakness. These progressive liberals, they take kindness for weakness. And I got exhausted for just being nice and just non-commentating and just saying like, okay, let me just be a conservative, or let me try to take it the conservative way, and let's see if they turn their life around. And they're never going to turn their life around, man. They're really nasty people. So you don't have to be nasty and lower your standard to them, but it's not a time to be gentle, man. It's not a time. It's a fight between God and evil. And if we are gentle, and if we let these people win, the Satan basically opens the doors. Look what is happening to the United States. The progressive liberals have taken over the educational system, explaining that Marxism, it is a way of life in the colleges and in the United States of America. They're burning the flag in every protest. And they have the justification to say that is our right, and that is the enemy, and is the empire. And then they fly the Palestinian flag, and then they fly the Hamas flag, and then they fly the LGBTQ flag, and then they fly the Ukraine flag. And it's just, and meanwhile, they're burning the American flag, which, when are you going to stop thinking that it's gentle? And we cannot go gentle. Sexualizing Jesus every time, mocking him every time at parades. In the Olympics, it was a complete disgusting insult what they did with the Last Supper. All of these, fat transsexuals, that they were right there, obese transsexuals, and it is not transphobia, and it is not creating violence to the people. Stop with this stupidity language. It is the reality. You put some obese trans people mocking the Last Supper of Jesus, and the justification, it is in the Greek culture. They used to get the hell out of here. We are not. This is not a Greek culture. This is Jesus. It's. Stop being gentle. This is the thing. And if they're putting ads in Australia asking them to vote in the U.S. elections, why Republicans are not doing it? Go ahead and put it. Whatever you want to put, put exercise your right of freedom of speech to say, hey, you know what? This is what it's actually happening in the U.S. Go ahead, and if you want to vote Democrat, this is what is going to happen to the United States and to you. I'm not seeing the link of buy me a coffee. It is pinned on the chat, Georgia. It is pinned right there on the chat on Facebook. Also, I pin it right there. It's pinned on the chat. If they're American citizens, I emphasize on that, and I implied if they're American citizens. Michelle Johnson, the USA never bargained with terrorists until Joe Biden and his administration. Biden is turning USA into Islam country because he sides with terrorists. Only Trump can bring us USA back. No, I don't agree with that. Obama negotiated with Iran, and he gave them billions of dollars. It is never. It's not that Joe Biden is the only one that has done it. Obama has done it before, also. Completely disgusting. And I believe that Barack Obama has been the worst president in United States history, really, to be honest with you. I appreciate your reporting and your perspective. No time like the present to squash the evil. Yes. Lisa Bean. It's unbelievable how the Dems hate their own country and their own people. Yeah, it's just incredible. Really, it is incredible. It's incredible how they hate it. More buy me a coffee. Thank you much. Thanks so much, Anonymous. Just bought me a coffee, so I completely appreciate that. Let me just go to home right here and see who has donated so I can give them a shout out. My gosh. Let me see right here. Feisty Mick, thank you so much. Anonymous, give me also 5 coffees. Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you. In 2008 Olympics in Los Angeles will probably be even worse. 2028, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be really bad. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. And it's not that I'm contesting, but I'm really agreeing with you. It is going to be really bad. It is pinned on the chat. It is pinned right here on the chat. It's pinned on the chat. If you go to the chat, I pinned it. It's pinned all the way to the top of the chat. You see buy me a coffee link right there. It is pinned. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. 33 minutes going in, 5:37 West Coast time. It is a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you, and thank you. Nice to say hello to you guys. We are trying to travel soon, as we can. And we are possibly going to be traveling with Ben, Ben Berquan, my brother. So we are immediately trying to do that, cover a lot of the situations that we are expecting to cover. One of the things is to cover the borders, but on the Mexican side, not on the American side. American side, a lot of people have been covering that consistently, and it's just people coming in. It's just average, normal. But we want to go and ask the citizens what's their perspective now on elections, and a lot of things that we like to investigate, not only just the irregular crossings and the illegal crossings. We need to get the perspective of the other side, and the perspective is that a lot of people on the borders are sick and tired of this, man, and how this has opened a window to evil. The cartel has grown a lot since this incentivization of open borders, and they're fighting for open border gaps. In Israel, were you sick with COVID? No, I had just a cough. Just a cough, and I was just a little bit. I was a little bit sick. It was just a change of weather, the constant change of weather. Was traveling through many airports, and I think I got sick when I went to the barber. They did my beard, and they put a towel that it was possibly not clean. So, that after the barbershop, I got sick. So I don't think it was COVID. No. Hi, Oscar. There's a reports. Jaime, there. How you doing, Jaime? Hi, Oscar. There are reports of Venezuelan gangs are taking over neighborhoods in Chicago. What do you think can expect from this? What can families do? Specifically Chicago, that is run by a liberal governor and a liberal mayor. Sad to say, the only thing that it can change is that um, you need to get somebody else in charge of your country. Other than that, this is going to massively continue. And one of the things that it needs to be done is get out of the global compact on migration, exercise that. After you cut the funding to the United Nations, you cut the funding to these NGOs and the federal grants, and you start investigating these NGOs that they have been profiting out of human misery and making millions out of their tax return. Then you investigate it and you audit every single individual that is from these NGOs that they have been profiting and making a lot of money out of human misery. After that, you start doing deportations of the people that they have caused violence and they have entered illicitly, cheating on the system and making it look like they have asylum and refugee when they don't qualify for asylum and refugee. There's a process for work permits. There's a process for eligibility for this, eligibility for that. And a lot of the people have cheated and they have gone around the system to make it look like they needed asylum or they needed refuge. These are the kind of people that they need to be, investigated and see if they're going to be returned or not returned. Until that, I believe strongly that these people, that they are committed offenses in the United States of America, they need to go directly in punishment in federal prison. And after they are in federal prison, they qualify immediately to get deported and get returned back to their country. That's obvious. But under the Democrats, they just try to pass a law, the Republicans, to deport the sex offenders that are coming in illegally into the country. And also, if you committed rape or a sex offense inside of the United States of America, or a conspiracy for sex offense to a woman, and if you're illegally in the United States of America, they try to pass a law for them to be deported and returned back. But 158 Democrats voted against it. So it tells you that the enemy is within, and the enemy is in your Congress, and the enemy is in your Senate, the Unity Party, and all these people. It's just disgusting how you're not going to return these people that they have committed a crime, they have committed a big mistake. So it's just nasty. So it starts with your policies, it starts with your Congress, it starts with your Senate, and it starts ultimately on this incoming elections on the 5th of November. This is the most important thing. You're going to clean up your country when you vote for the right people in the right position. Where is it? Where did I stay? Where can I click and chat and go to buy a coffee? It doesn't allow you to buy a coffee. It's more of report, block, or unpin. No, it's right there on top of the chat. You can just go and there's a link right there and you can pin it and you can click it. Lyle Smith, question: should the U.S. designate the cartel as a terrorist organization? Absolutely. Absolutely. And whoever supports Hamas and Hezbollah, it is like supporting the cartel in Mexico. And ultimately, if you designate them as a terrorist organization, the ones that they are distributing inside of the United States of America, that they're also cartels, they need to be designated also as terrorists, as domestic terrorists. It's a matter of fact, the United States of America and the next administration, hopefully is not the Biden administration, they should designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, and also the Black Lives Matter radicals that they go out and riot and loot and all this kind of disgusting stuff. And the NGOs that they have taken advantage and trafficked children and trafficked people and in cahoots with the cartel, because you're not going to lie about it. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not creating hysteria and fear mongering. It is a reality. A lot of these NGOs, they're in cahoots with the cartel. These are the enemies by within. They should be designated as terrorists. These are domestic terrorists of your nation. Question. Let's go right here with another one. Question. I recently saw a video where the Republicans in the House of Representatives were upset with the UN and who hold in the World Health Organization holding a silent pact in attempt to gain more power. Can you explain what that means? I don't understand what your question is, but I understand a little bit of your statement. So I will read it again and see what it says. It says right here, somebody bought me a copy. Thank you so much, Connie Barrier. Connie Barrier, thank you, and thank you. So it says right here, I recently saw a video where the Republicans in the House of Representatives were upset with the UN and the WHO. Yes, it is not only the Republicans, it's everybody that knows the reality of the UN and the WHO, holding a silent pact in an attempt to gain more power. Uh, the UN and the WHO holding a silent pact to gain more power. I believe that that's what you mean. That the UN and the WHO, they're the ones that they're holding the power. They wanted to hold the power. What does that mean? It means that the UN really basically what until now, what the UN has done, what the United Nations, what they have done, they have created global compacts. And these compacts, they go and they preach and they try to make it look like it's humanitarian, but basically it is opening up the doors for a lot of these non-governmental organizations to make millions out of humanitarian crisis and human misery. They create these compacts and they make countries sign these compacts under the humanitarian aid and wing. These compacts are overruling immigration law. Let me tell you just an example. Before the United States of America, under the Trump administration and under the Obama was, basically the one that brought the global compact on migration into your country. Then Donald Trump came into office and he signed you guys out. Why? Because he said this is not aligned with our United States policies. Then Joe Biden came back again, and Joe Biden says we are back in the compact. The compact, what it says, illegal migration, it is basically not illegal. So every single individual that it crosses illegally or through a non-port of entry irregularly, let me use the liberal language, through a non-port of entry, it will be admitted embedded under the asylum and refugee status, which means that a lot of these processes that can be diagnosed of asylum and refugee, which is the CBP1 app, lawyers admitting and advising legal advice of how to enter the United States under the refugee and asylum situation, and ultimately people crossing illegally, jumping the wall, being trafficked, crossing through a non-port of entry, all this kind of stuff. So it has given the power to the United Nations and it has given the power to these NGOs. Why? Because the Border Patrol does not stop no illegal migration in their borders. Why? Because they are a processing unit. Now they are processed in illegal migration. It used to be a crime in the United States of America, that it was a federal crime, that it used to be punishable up to 8 to 18 months. And illegal reentry used to be punishable from 18 to 20 some months. And this used to be a huge amount of difference. But now it is you enter through a non-port of entry, you will be processed and then you will be taken to an NGO. The NGO will release you into population and there's no illegal migration because the ideology of the liberals is no human is illegal. So basically what it means is that your immigration police officers or your border patrol officers do not have the exercise complete absolute right to to basically stop illegalities from happening. You have seen that even traffickers go all the way to the front line of the border patrol, and even they yell at them, they insult them, and the border patrol is just standing there just looking at them like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I cannot stop him. I cannot do this. Why? Because you got the NGO behind it, and the NGO is saying that do not violate his rights. He's in his land. Do not violate this man because he's just being trafficked. Do not violate this. Do not violate that. Do not do this. Do not do that. So it's just, the UN has completely taken over the ones, and I have said this from my perspective and my optic, the UN is the one that is running your borders. It's not even your own government. It's the UN. It's Alejandro Guterres. It is George Soros. It is the son of George Soros. It is all these people that they run the UN and they run these global compacts on migration. Not only, is the global compact of migration, is the global compact of education, is the global compact of the environment. All of these compacts, they are aligned together for the new 2030 agenda. It is a reality. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is not creating hysteria. It is not fear mongering through all these liberals with their language, what they say. This is a reality. This is what they're trying to do. It is the Carl Schwabs. It is all this, all pulled into one specific box, all in one together. Let me just see. Oscar, is there any updates about the missing children? Well, they find children every once in a while. It's really difficult to. I mean, again, if you still continue with these policies, these kind of situations of the trafficking of children and the trafficking of women and the trafficking of human beings through your country are going to continue. It starts with a policy. It doesn't even matter First and foremost, okay, you want to secure the border, you want to put a large wall, huge wall, and in the open border gaps, you want to put a wall. I understand that. But it doesn't even matter how long your wall you build, how tall you build it. It's still, if you have these policies, migration is going to continue, trafficking of humans is going to continue because you're going to continue to embed them. So the cartel is going to continue to smuggle, continue to traffic, continue to abuse. So it starts with the policies in Congress, in the Senate. That's what it starts with. Oscar and friends, look up SB 960 Senate bill now allows illegals with work permits to be deputized and enforce laws against citizens with weapons. Let me see if they passed it, and I will look into it before put it on my platform. Sounds interesting. Senator Josh Hawley is a pit bull, as I've been watching congressional sessions, and I will find a link. But it's amazing how much corruption. Yes, not even Josh Hawley. I think Ted Cruz. When I saw Ted Cruz going at Alejandro Mayorkas, and after that, I was like, Alejandro Mayorkas is done. I after that, I said, there's no way, there's no possible way in the world that Alejandro Mayorkas, after what Ted Cruz did to him, is going to find a job. He's going to get immediately fired, impeached, and possibly processed for crimes against humanity and treason. Ted Cruz exposed that man so bad that man was completely embarrassed in the seat of Congress, completely embarrassed because of its incompetence to manage a border and secure a border. And the collateral damage that he has caused to Central and South America is huge. So after that, I was like, there's no possible way. There's a lot of people that they have been doing a great job. But the thing is you bring the truth. And what happens after that? There's no follow-up. There's no, you know what? It's here. The evidence is so credible. Come on, you got to be kidding me with this. It's what are you going to do now? And the thing about it is that there's no follow-up. The guy got impeached, but he's still effective. How in the hell is this possible that a guy doesn't even know how many potential terrorists have come into the country and he doesn't even have the count? And he doesn't know who's coming in and who's... It's like you're at the Department of Homeland Security chief, man. What's wrong with you? That's how bad it is. So there's a few people that I consider like they have been confronting and doing a great job, but there's a few that they throw the rock and they hide the hand. Like, they want to be potentially defending, but they cannot because they want to secure their job. That's basically what it is. The USA, Mexico, and Canada also have to get out of the North American Union. North American Union, what is that? NAFTA? That has brought a lot of economy to the three countries, and specifically on the automobile industry. I don't know if you've seen that. Q, are you concerned this U.S. is still part of the UN while it tries to destroy Israel, our allied and country? Well, this is the thing. I've been to Israel 2 times. One thing you're saying that are you concerned that the U.S. is still part of the UN? That's one thing. Now, the other thing, you got 2 things in one. While it tries to destroy Israel, our ally country, that's another thing. And not only that, let me just tell you another thing. That the progressive liberals, they defend the fact that they need to support Ukraine. When a lot of people are dying in Ukraine, there's an actual genocide over there in Ukraine also of a lot of young kids. A lot of young kids that they're dying. You got like 1 generation or 2 generations that they're dying in Ukraine. That's a genocide of people that they're actually dying by the war with Putin and Russia. And also Russians are dying. And the liberals continue to say, we need to support Ukraine. We need to fuel that. But at the same time, they want to stop the funding in Israel. And they want to cease fire. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. They want to cease fire in Israel. How crazy is that? One thing is being part of the UN. The other thing is then, being part of these funding of these wars. The reality fact is just everybody to just fact check yourself. When Donald Trump was president, there was no wars. Then this bozo comes along. You got 2 wars on his hand, and you justify with the past administrations, like every leftist, they say. So it's unbelievable. Part of the UN. The thing about it is that the United States of America, if they're still part of the UN, you're gonna be part of the Global Compact on Migration. It's exacerbated the funding that you guys are giving to the United Nations. You're the country that gives more money to the United Nations. And look at the disaster. I've been in the Darien Gap, and I showed this at a migrant camp in Panama, outside of the Darien Gap, and I showed this tent, that it was a disastrous tent of the UNHCR, and I said, "This is your millions of dollars that you give. This is what the UNHCR is doing. Look, they're living on feces. It's just bad." So, if you're going to give money to the UN, send a task force. Donald Trump used to do that. You want money? Yeah, I'll send a task force to exercise and to know that every single penny and every single dollar is being spent. And also, I will audit my own people to say, hey, did you realize that he spent, let's say, per hypothetical example, $2 million on food, on $2 million on processes, on documents, $2 million of this. Yes, I have all the documents right here, sir. Let me see. Okay, check. Good. There's nothing like that. You're just giving money and printing money at the same time. The United States is in debt, people. You got trillions of dollars in debt. Like, you have to be kidding me. And still you're giving out money like it's to the UN. These NGOs, they're still asking for federal grants and their tax return money. These NGOs that they're processing, and they have the biggest default of a critical border in history. They're still asking for federal grants, your tax money, at disastrous of a border under the UN Global Compact. Because if the UN Global Compact ends, these people are just done. They're done. They're not going to have no possibilities. We were at Panama, and there was this NGO, this Jewish NGO. Man, my God, I forgot the name. Hayas. We exposed Hayas, and Hayas had a map of how to cross the Darien Gap. You got to be kidding me with this. And we exposed this NGO, and this NGO was printing out informative reports to say, hey, we need to hurry up. We need to just, do as much as we can, because if the next elections we don't win, there's no possibility that we can continue to help. So it's just like the pandering, the Republicans, and it's the right-wing extremists. It's always this. It's always these liberals, progressive liberals, and specifically white and Hispanic liberals. They're always using us, the Latinos, for their political gain and votes, and their crap propaganda and their disastrous propaganda politics. And then when they use us to create hatred against one political party, one political side in the United States of America. They only use us and dispose us. And then later on, the crisis still continues. It's just, we need you. We need you. We need you. Let me just pander and say all this hatred. And then when we don't need you, we just toss you away. It's just, that's what I believe. It's a lot of comments that I'm missing. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you're missing my question. I'm sorry. I'm not, I'm not Flash, man. I'm sorry. We don't have a country in the USA, Mexico, or Canada now, and haven't had a country since July 1st. That's your perspective. Well, that's your perspective, man. That's your perspective. Oscar, I live in North Dakota and it's getting cold up here. How can we help people crossing the northern border? I don't know about crossing the northern border. I've never been there, and I don't know about that. About helping them cross in what way? I don't follow. I watch being Mon get grilled across Kennedy. This is why our borders are wide open. Okay, I'm watching your comments. Thank you so much. Thank you, Connie Barrier. Help Oscar, prayers, and donate to your support. Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me go to buy me a coffee and see who has helped. Thank you so much for all your support. I really completely appreciate your support. I cannot travel without your support. So it's incredibly, so it's vital for me to continue. So Connie Barrier just donated a coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. Let me go right here to the comments section. I think right here. Let's. Says Oscar. Prayers for Oscar. Stay strong, bold. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I live in San Isidro and work for CBP and as customs. Thoughts on the new Mexican president? Really? You work for CBP as customs? Thoughts on the new Mexican president? Which one? The woman that is coming. She's a progressive liberal. Hopefully, it will. We pray that it will change our country, but she's left. So progressively, in terms to the most concerning thing about my country and that I concerned about is the organized crime and the cartel. And it was completely disappointing I was in her closing of campaign. I was over there broadcasting and covering the closing campaign before she became president. And I was on the next day covering the elections. But, when I was doing that, I heard her last speech. And she said that she is going to continue with the same security intelligence strategy that Andrés Manuel López Obrador used. That's completely catastrophic. The most insecure president in Mexican history, it is Andrés Manuel López Obrador. More than 200,000 murders occurred under his belt in 6 years. And he's complaining about the past government of Felipe Calderón, Vicente Fox, and Enrique Peña Nieto. He has been the worst, the most insecure president in Mexican history, where the cartels have grown 2 times stronger and where, you have had more cities on the top 10 of Mexico for violence and delinquents and homicides. And this new president, the first woman president, wants to come in and say, I will continue with the same security strategy. Jeez. It's like, whew, where are we going? We're going to have 500,000 people dead in 12 years. I'm just predicting. I'm just, that's counting, if you count from one government to another. And if you continue with the same strategy, forgot, what is going to happen. That's my perspective, brother. Oscar, do you think migrants will end up in every state? And have you heard about Springfield, Ohio? The United States is full with migrants, man. It's everywhere. I don't know. And even you, Brian Rowe, you possibly your family members came from Europe or possibly somewhere else, brother. So immigration has always been kind of like how the world works. But I'm a pro-migrant myself. I believe migration is a human right, but in those human rights, there's processes and there's laws how to do it, and we need to respect the law and we need to respect the process of how to migrate. Migrants are all over the place. People working legally, that they have migrated legally, they are all over the place, all over the United States of America. The problem that the United States has right now, it is a massive amount of people coming in illegally through non-ports of entry. And this happened under the Biden administration massively more. So you heard about Springfield, Ohio. Yes, you heard about it. I don't like to get into it because it's a really confusing topic about the situation. The only thing that I can tell you is that this influx of mass migration of Haitians come into a small town like Springfield, Ohio. It causes a collateral effect and it causes a culture shock immediately. Haitians intend to have a different culture than Americans. It is like Mexicans intend to have a different culture than Haitians. It's a different culture to adapt. And, Americans are not happy with this, adapting to a culture that they're not want to adapt. So it is fine for them. It is their right. It's their country. It's they don't want it. So it's difficult to talk about it because, it's a topic that has different perspectives. There was a question right here. Question, are you and your family getting threats? That's too personal, then no problem. It is too personal, but yes, yes. The worst threats that I have had is because of a liberal, progressive writer in San Diego. She used to work for the LA Times and also for the Daily Beast. She exposed, basically, she exposed, but I already talked about my past. I have a critical past. In 2008, I committed the biggest mistake of my life. And she called me and she messaged me to talk about the camp, the migrant camp in Tijuana. But she ultimately found out, which that I obtained a pardon to go into the United States of America. And she did a hit piece on me because of that, not even talking about the migrants, but she said that I was a CIA infiltrated agent, that I was an FBI, informant, and all this kind of stuff. That caused a collateral damage in my family, irreparable. And I'm still waiting for the day that I can sue this person for all the collateral damage that she caused. It is irreparable. My family, everybody has a lot of collateral damage because of this. I had to move my son from two different schools. I had to move myself from the west side of the city of Tijuana to the east side. I had to stop working for networks. I had to go back and do something else. Um, she affected my life, and it was more not even financially, not even that, and not even emotionally. She affected my life into trying to get me killed. And this was a liberal, progressive, Hispanic. The most sad thing about it, it was a Hispanic writer. And she went on MSNBC. She went on Democracy Now. She went on the Daily Beast. Disgusting. And it was really bad. And, we survived that. We survived that. We had to hide. Of course, I have been in normal threats. When I go to the border, I have encountered coyotes. I have encountered all the kind of people that they don't like to be recorded. Also, I almost got shot and died in Guatemala. They robbed and they stole everything from us on gunpoint. It was recorded on a video. Um, Also we got into a gunfight in Panama and in the Darien Gap with the Cartel of Colombia and Centerfront. The heroic agents of Panama, completely, took that situation into custody. Ben and I were in the we were in that situation. It has been multiple situations that I have been, involved with these critical situations. And yes, it's part of the job. I consider it's part of the job, but you know, I give God the level of it's going to come back, to this progressive mercenary writer. It's a question of time. It's really a question of time. My family and friends and all kind of people, they are extremely concerned about this. They were extremely concerned about this, and family members and everybody was extremely concerned. And we were like, we need to take this into law. We need to make a lawsuit about this. And it's always there. It's always pending. We have that pending, always waiting for the right moment to exercise my right. Have you noticed how they have replaced the word government with governance? It's like they have intended to say that the United States is a democracy, it's not a republic. It's kind of like that. The liberals have intended to use all these language, and it's called the language barrier of defense. I have called it that. And what they do is they create this bubble. These liberals, they create this bubble of language for them to be protected, and they use it to label you and to make you look like a really bad person. So if you're part of the team, you're high five, you're welcome. If you're not, all these terms, but if you're these terms, you're not part of the team. You're going to be categorized as a radical extremist. And I have said these terms continuously. I said it because this is their mechanic of defense. And this is the only way that they can defend themselves. They say you are a conspiracy theorist. You are creating hysteria. You're a fearmonger. You're a white supremacist. You're a white imperialist. You're xenophobic. You're transphobic. You're homophobic. You're pronoumphobic. You're fatphobic. You're fascist. You're a racist. You're a narcissist. You're a bigot. You're a Zionist. You're from the river to the sea. La 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 this. La 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 that. You're a CIA propagandist. You are creating violence. You are, this. You're uneducated. You are, you're not academia. all these words, they change them, and what they do is that if you don't follow up with it, and they cuts the freedom of speech, because you're trying to exercise your right to say, I don't agree with that. And they say, oh, you're xenophobic. And I'm like, no, 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 you're a traitor to your country. Why am I a traitor to your country? I just don't agree. It's like, well, you're this. Bah! They put that label on you, and that is your label. So and they talk about imperialism, and they talk about fascism, and they talk about all that, and that is what they are. That is what basically what they're doing. So it's unbelievable how words now matter, and they have taken that into, they had hijacked also the inclusive language, to be inclusive. In inclusiveness in Mexico, inclusividad, you will think that inclusiveness, it comes to the blind people, comes with people that they have cancer, it comes with people they have AIDS, it comes with people that they have that they're deaf, it comes with people that they have specific needs, people in wheelchairs, people that they have a disability. That's inclusiveness. It used to be the priority of inclusivity to those people. But no, now inclusiveness comes with, you need to be trans, and you need to respect my pronoun, and you need to respect me because I'm dressed as a woman today, and I need to go to that bathroom that is a woman's bathroom, and I'm going because that's my right. And and I'm Latinx because that's who I represent. That's the crazy analogy of how the United States has completely drifted into this. And that's not only the United States, in Mexico it's also happening. It's just crazy. uh yeah, it's just not, Kenneth. And I agree with you, man. uh it's not. Jesus Christ, the first conspiracy theorist. Let me just genius. Let me just flip the Bible right here and go 1, 2, 3. Let me read a paragraph. It says, let me there you go. Isaiah. We'll read this for you. It says, for the bed is too short to stretch on itself on, and the covering too narrow to wrap on self in. For the Lord will rise up as the Mount of Perazim, as in the valley of Gibeon he will be roused, to do his deed, strange in his deed, and to work his work, alien in his work. Now therefore do not scoff, lest your bonds be made strong, for I have heard a decree of a destruction. God bless you, man. God, excuse me. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. An hour and 8 minutes Q&A. Q&A for everybody that is watching. It's 6 o'clock at night. Thank you so much. Every time that they come and insult Jesus, or they want to insult our Lord and Savior, I read the Bible, or I say, not today, Satan, not today. But we need to start, thinking about this way. Let me just read Kenneth right here. Kenneth says, I told you on March 7, 2023, I will bring Maranatha to Jerusalem, 7/10/2030. All right, brother. Let's Q&A for everybody that is watching. God bless you all. I will do 10 more minutes, or 10 or 15. If there is questions, and if there's questions and there's comments. Little tickle in my throat. Name calling grammar school antics as opposed to solving and discussing solutions. Yes, absolutely. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. It has been a pleasure to talk to you guys on this Q&A. Change the background. Change it. One of the things I wanted to do is get it, more practical. And I don't know if you guys like it or not, but I like the background that it be black. And hopefully the audio was good. I hope that the audio was good. And I'm reading your comments. Okay, real question. Best tacos in TJ. Fuf, tacos del ruso. Soler. Tacos de asada. De asada, tacos del ruso. Asada, tacos, tacos del ruso. En el Soler. Colonia El Soler. Tacos el ruso. Okay, let me just see right here another comment. Chingo. Vaya, güey. Vámonos. Oscar, I'd like to know if the U.S. border is going to be getting worse before the election, or are we still flying them in, meaning the U.S.? Um, it is exactly the same. It hasn't gotten any better. And that's what it is. It's exactly the same. It hasn't gotten any better. It has lowered down the entrance, but the CBP line has gotten, man, it's hammered. And it's exacerbated. Thousands and thousands are crossing. I don't have nothing against it when they're doing the process. I'm just telling you, how the mass migration has continued. Illegal entries have continued in California and Jacumba. They are continuing. Arizona has continued to have an open border. New Mexico has to continue to have an open border. Texas has a lot of problems, and it always had problems, with illegal migration. But it is what it is. This is what it is. Will you ever run for a government job in USA and Mexico? No, I'm not a politician. I'm never going to be a politician. I am a Mexican citizen. Possibly in the near future, and I'm saying really near, I will become a public spokesperson. Would love to do that. Speak to thousands of people about the experiences and second chances in life, and how can you get better in life, and how can you have a better opportunity in life. Like to go in and talk to the federal inmates, state inmates, people that they want to get a better opportunity in life and find God and find the right path in life. I have a book coming out, talking about the experiences of migration, and also I have another book coming out talking about my private life. Yeah, and that's I want to be. I want to speak in front of thousands of people and help the young and help the migration people to get educated on how to do a legal process. Not to be advocating for people to understand that to pay the cartel is the only way to get to another country. And ultimately, not only that, the thing that I have said to the migrants, I say this to them, el sueño americano no es donde tú quieres, es donde Dios te pone. That is a slogan that I have used. The American dream is not where you want to. It is where God puts you. So we need to understand that everything that involves with God, it involves with Him, His decisions. We need to please Him. We need to love Him. We need to, cherish Him. We need to find our way with Him. We need to understand that Him, it is the only way for our decisions to be made. And when we start realizing that, countries, cities, communities, everything will go different. So that's every time that I go to the Darien, I talk to hundreds of people in front. I say the American dream is not where you want to, it's where God puts you. So if God wants to put you in Switzerland, He will make your dreams come true, because that is where you are made to be put to do your job. Even in your country, if you want to do it, make it in your country, you can make it in your country. It's only about having faith and creating this atmosphere of people and surrounding yourself with people that they're going to make you better. If you surround yourself with people that they're going to make you bad, you're going to be bad. If you surround yourself with people that they're going to make you better, they're going to make you better. And never giving up after attacks, after, people punishing you, people threatening you, people attacking you. Is always, you got to maintain yourself. You got to be sustainable. You got to be constant, and always worry about your goal. You got to have a goal. At the end of the day, this is who I'm going to be in 5 years. This is going to be in 10 years. This is going to be in 20 years. And it is not even an option to say, I'm not going to be that. You have to believe in the impossible, because the impossible is these outside box where you don't believe that anything is possible. That is you. I prefer to be where the impossible is that impossible is just a word that it was put in the dictionary to challenge yourself and to challenge the human being to make it possible. It was made for that. And the word fear, it was made to absolutely bring the courageous part of a human being. If fear would not be existing, you will not be at several particular situations where you will make it. So I always like to be with the fear. I always like for fear to be with me because it challenged me to do better things. And it always challenged me to make these better things and to always challenge me to beat these obstacles, to always have these obstacles in front of me. Like, it's fear. Oh, but I will go at you and I'm not going to stop. I'm going at you like a huge train, man, full with tons and tons and tons. I'm going at you like the full force of God. So this is the thing, we need to understand. First and foremost, we need to understand that everything involves and surrounds us with God. If we don't understand that, we're going to be a lost soul walking. And if whatever you believe, believe it. That's the first thing. If you don't believe even on yourself, and if you don't even love yourself, you're never going to accomplish anything. I come from myself speaking from a personal experience. My young days were really hard. Even I was in prison for 4 years, and I talked about it openly. I don't have a problem with it, man. I made a mistake. Came out. When I was young, I did my college years. I dropped out, went and did a job here and there, started working. Committed a mistake in 28, went federal prison. 4 years I spent in federal prison. Got deported to Mexico. Now that I am in Mexico, what am I going to do? So I started going back to school. Went back and got a diploma on broadcasting. Got a diploma on environmental assessments. Specialized on environmental assessments. Then after that, I said, I got to go back to college. I went back to college. I finished my communications career. Then after that, I started working with networks. I believed in myself. I said, this is who am I going to be in 20 years. Now I have a goal in my head. And this goal, nobody's going to take it away from me. You can say that I'm crazy. You can say, oh, this Mexican, this brown looking guy, never going to accomplish anything. It's okay. Say that. I like it. I like it because you're bringing the impossible to me, and I want to make it possible. And I have a goal in my mind that I will be one day, I will be sitting in front of Congress and telling every single one of these congressional leftist, progressive, mercenary, disgusting politicians the truth of what they have done with their policies to our people. And how these dirty politicians have used our people for their only political gain and votes and propaganda. And make sure that immigration policies are humanitarian and they are legitimately complied and fixed for a better life, for American citizens, for migrants, and for every single individual in the whole continent. To believe in yourself that you can make it in your own country. To believe in yourself that you can make it in the worst country that you can live in. If your country said, like, man, I don't have an opportunity over here, man, you can believe in yourself. There's a way that you can do it, and there's always a way that you can make it. You have to always believe in yourself. Siempre. Siempre cree en ti. Siempre. Siempre. No importa qué tantos ataques. It doesn't even matter how many people attack you. It doesn't even matter how many people go at you. It doesn't even matter how many people that try to pull you down and put you in the mud. Always believe in yourself. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Nobody said that it was going to be easy. Man, the most beautiful man that ever walked this planet, who was it? Jesus Christ. Jesus knew, just recently I was in the Garden of Yosemite. Jesus knew that he was going to get punished. And he begged to the Lord and the Father to say, please don't do this to me. Please don't. But he knew that he was going to get punished. He knew that he was going to absolutely suffer. And he preferred that go through all of that embarrassment, punishment, getting spit on, getting stepped on, getting insulted, getting whipped, horribly betrayed. And he went and did it. What a great example for human life. If he can do it, he put an example to you that if he can do it, he puts an example that believe in me and you will accomplish it. Believe in me, follow me, and see what I have done and see the consequences of my suffering. It's not going to be easy, man. You're going to suffer a lot, but follow me and you will accomplish it. Even when you're pardoned, who are you to judge if Mary Magdalene was a prostitute and he pardoned her? And he put a line in front of all these people that they were attacking her and says, whoever is free of sin, cast the first stone. Who are you to judge when you and your home and your background, you have a lot of problems also? Who are you to judge? We are here to believe in the Lord. We are here to follow his steps. We are here for a better life. There's nothing around it that it doesn't involve him. At the end of the day, if you're a non-believer, when you're dying, you're going to say, God, please, 1 second. Just needed 1 second of you remembering that he exists. Because from dust you come, from dust you will turn. So it just takes you 1 second. And if you believe that, you can believe in yourself on everything, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So my dream is to speak to a lot of people for your comment. Will you ever run for government, a job, or in USA, Mexico? No. I will prefer to speak to the young people, the young Hispanics, the young Latinos, in the United States, the young Hispanics and Latinos, to change their perspective and to understand that they have a possibility not to be a gardener, not to be a construction worker, that a construction worker is a respectable job, but also they can be the best entrepreneur, that they can be a leader politician, that they can be a doctor, they can be a lawyer, they can be a public speaker, they can be whoever they want to be successful. They can be successful in life. There's a pattern that these Democrats have used with Latinos and Hispanics, and they have demonized us to believe that we are in a minority. In the United States of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, everybody's equal. There's no minority, there's no majority. It is equal. You were born in the United States of America, you have the same rights. It is not the color. It is who you are and where you were born. That is what it is. At the end of the day, you are living in the United States of America, living out of the capitalist dollar. Appreciate that country. Appreciate that country. Because that country is giving you food. That country is paying your car. That country is paying your rent. That country is paying the education for your son, for your daughter. That country is maintaining your family, maintaining your wife, maintaining your grandma, maintaining your mother, maintaining your father. Appreciate the United States of America. It's not because, oh my God, he is licking the boots of the white man. No. The United States of America, the country, the economy, the capitalist economy, the greatest country that exists in the world. It is providing that for you. So appreciate that. It is because of that country that you have a better life. So we need to teach our people to value every single thing that is given to us and not take it for granted, but absolutely understand that we are the intrinsic force of that country also, that we are not born to be a minority, that we don't need to follow the steps that the Democrats say, that we need to victimize our people all the time, that we need to live out of social programs all the time, that we need to do everything, and follow the steps of other people doing things illegally. Why we are following this pattern? Because these politicians, they put us in this box and they don't want us to get out. Look at Jerry Nadler. He said the other day, not too long ago, a leftist Democrat, we need illegals to pick up the lettuce because if not, they're going to rot in the field. Nancy Pelosi said we need illegals in Florida to pick up the fruits because if not, they're going to rot. Incompetent Mayor Adams said we have a lot of migrants that they swim across the Rio Grande River. We can make them lifeguards. Look how racist they are. Look where they have put us on. that we only believe ourselves that we are good for the things that they say. And this doesn't even go to the Latino and the Hispanic population. It goes to every American that believes in the leftists and the progressive mercenary activists, politicians, the Democrats, specifically the Democrats, that they treat us like a second-class citizen. We are not. In the United States of America, we respect each other. We love each other. You need to understand that as soon as the race card goes away, for God's sake, everything's going to be normal. I can sit down with a black man and eat some tacos and have a great conversation about not even talking about that he's black. I can sit down with a white man and eat tacos and have a great conversation without even looking at him that he's white. I can sit down with an Asian man and eat tacos and even not even looking at him that he's Asian and Hindu, a Bangladesh guy, a guy from Africa, whoever you want to call it. I have walked with so many thousands of migrants, thousands, and I have sat in the floor eating with them from the same bowl. I have proof and video, because those videos and that proof, I want to show it to the thousands and thousands when I speak in front of you. And to all these liberals that they criticize without even having the fundamentals and not even having the to walk in the places that I have walked. I sit down in the middle of a caravan eating with people, all kinds of people, all kinds of cultures. Learn from their culture. Learn from who they are. Normal human being that has 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ went over there and cured the sick, help the poor, help the blind, teaching us that it's not about a social class and it's not about the skin. It's not about being a human being and being people. But at the end of the day, there's a law. And if there was no law, we would be anarchy. We will be mercenary. We will be doing evil things like the cartel does, like the terrorists do in Israel, Hezbollah and Hamas. Like that. So always God's law is always the number one thing. So if you want to tell me if I want to be a politician, no. Hell no. If I want to help our people and if I want to help people, the young people, go and speak and tell them about the stories, about everything that I have done and everything that I have accomplished, I would love to do that. Absolutely, I would love to do that. That's one of the things that I dream about, helping our people and helping other young kids. Helping other young kids to be better and to believe in themselves, that we do not depend on a governmental system. We were born and raised to survive. And we can do and survive ourselves. We were not born and raised to survive by the government. The government survives by us providing. So we have the intention and we have the obligation to demand the government to give us a better life in living. Because it's we the people, it's not we the government. So we need to understand, look at what communism and socialism has done to other countries. To have completely ruined social class, and it's mercenary what they're doing. Making people understand and making people making people believe that living out of the social system, it is one of the ways of life. Creating incompetent youth and incompetent generations for them to understand that they need programs for them to survive. No, you're a man. You can actually go out and get a job. You can actually go out and provide. Everything, it involves about, going out there and trying to find something and trying to do something. And if it is positive, it is positive. And if it is negative, you will learn the negative ways, and you will learn that every problem has a consequence, and every consequence has a learning session. From consequences and from problems, you will learn to be a better human being. From bumping your forehead in the wall, you will learn, oh my God, this is not the way. This is the way. Second opportunities in life matter. And if you have never made a mistake, I praise you, man. You're a great human being. I look up to you. I believe in you. The people that have made mistakes, you learn from your mistakes and you get better in life. It is not that you get better at every day. You get better in life. One thing that I have done, since I got out of prison, because when I was in there, the 4 years, I prayed every day, every night. Every night I prayed. Every night I prayed in my bed, in my bunk bed. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed for me to just get out of there alive. When I got out, I continued to do that. I continued. I continued to pray every day, every day, every day. Is one of the things that I truly love about continuing with a consistency, because God put me that. God taught me that I can talk to him whenever I want to. I can talk to him today. I can talk to him in the car. I can talk to him, walking. I can talk to him because he's everywhere. So it's one of the consistent things that I have done. And I believed, and I said, if I can do that, I can do something else as being consistent. I can go to the gym. I became a professional boxer. I always practiced boxing since I was 9, 10 years old. But I became a professional boxer when I was 32 old. And I did the professional fights just to help people with cancer. I did 5 or 8 professional fights, and all my fights were donated to people with cancer. All my fights, I donated one fight to one specific, lady. God rest her soul. She passed away a couple of years ago from breast cancer. I helped her. I donated everything to her. The last fight, I donated everything to children with cancer. Next fight, I donated to a young man that had problems with the heart. These kind of things have pushed me into a better human being. You have to give for you to receive nothing that you expect. That's the thing. That's the key, man. You have to give without expecting anything. And when you receive it back, you say thank you, and you give it back again. That's the learning session. That's the circle. You always give to not receive nothing. If you give something expecting to receive it, you're doing wrong. I'm going to tell you from the start. If you're giving, when you go to a donation center, right, and they ask you, hey, you would like to donate with children with cancer? And you say, yeah, I will donate. And you're like, oh, Lord, I've just donated. I hope that I can get, $300 next week so I can pay off my car. You're wrong right there. You're done. You're done. You have to give it because out of the kindness of your heart and because the intention is really there. I'm just going to be honest and blunt about it. When I'm in the caravan, so when I'm in the Darien, a lot of people come at me and they know me. A lot of the migrants know me when I'm in the Darien, a lot of them. And they go and they say, Oscar, they tell me that you help a lot of people. And I said, I help them with food. I help them with stuff that they need. Medical, for the children, pills, whatever they need for them to not get fever. And I have helped a lot of people without expecting anything. And I don't praise and I don't say this about it. And I don't consistently say this on social media. I don't say it like this right now on my live streams. Why? Because it's a thing that I have, and it's a relationship that I have with God. It is not a relationship that I have with somebody else. It's a relationship, a personal relationship that I have with God. And when I do that, it is because I said, God, you already know my heart. And you already know the mistake that I have done. And this is me paying your debt. This is me and you. Me and you. I'm not asking you to give me $45 million next week for me to live the best life of my life. No, I'm just asking you for me to I'm asking for forgiveness. This is what I'm doing. So I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart for your forgiveness. I'm praying for your forgiveness. This is what I'm doing. And it's just, this is the first thing that you got to do. If you're trying to help this, like a lot of people say, like, oh, we're helping all these migrants. We're not helping our homeless veterans. When have you done help for your homeless veterans? I understand, and I completely understand the priorities of helping the veterans that they have given their lives for this country. That's the number one priority. Absolutely. And ultimately, that's the number one priority. But I want you to understand that, you walk when you walk and you talk when you talk. So you got to go with what you say. If you say, hey, man, we're not even helping your homeless veterans, well, I would love for you to every paycheck get a $5 bill and just go out and buy a burger and then, drive around and say like, there's one. There you go, man. Food. There's one. There you go, man. A blanket. There's one. Hey, man, come here. When was the last time that you had a haircut? It was like about, I don't know, man, 3 months ago. Hey, come here, man. Let me take you to the barber. That's the help that you need to do. And without getting anything in return. That's the number one thing. not getting anything in return. Don't expect anything. Don't expect anything in return. That's the number one thing. In your mind, whenever the kindness of your heart, it wants to give something, do not expect anything back. Because that is your mission. Your mission is to become a better human being, for somebody else to become a better human being, and somebody else is going to help you to become a better human being. That's what you need to be. That's what you need to do. So it's not that, oh, I'm expecting somebody to help me. No, somebody's going to come in one day and say like, hey man, Oscar, how you doing, man? How are you, man? Hey man, I see that you're struggling a little bit to go over here. Hey man, here you go. Wow, thank you. God bless you, man. Thank you. What a blessing. Thank you so much. Bah, comes from above. That comes from all the work that you have done. All the work. But don't expect when you go over there and just like, you know what? I just gave a 20. Man, God, just gave a 20. I'm expecting 200 from you. That's the only thing I'm expecting. What kind of an exchange is that, man? Who are you to praise yourself in front of God and tell him that you want to negotiate? Who are you, man? He gave you life. Who are you to be standing with him and barge with him and be like, hey, you know what? I'll give you a 20, but you need to give me 2,000. What are you to do that, man? Nobody. You're his son, and he will grant you whenever he feels like it. It is your mission to follow his steps. It is your mission to follow his footsteps. It is your mission to follow everything that he has done. It is difficult to do that. I will tell you, it is the most hardest job that has ever been put in this planet. It's not easy. It is the hardest job. Everybody talks about which is the hardest and dirtiest job that anybody can do. A lot of people do construction on top of 120-story buildings. A lot of people go to impossible pathways. A lot of people go down, the drainages and drain. Those are hard jobs for men and women. But I will tell you, the hardest job on this planet is to follow Jesus' footsteps. It is easy to do it. It is right there as a manifesto, and it is the 10 Commandments. It is really easy to do it. It is right there, man. It's right there. And it has a manifesto and it has a manual. Like, this is the way you do it. It has right here. It's a Bible. Got it right here. It's really easy, man. Really easy to follow it. It's the most easiest job. Because it has a manual, and you can do it as easy as you can, man. You can go step by step. You can read about it. You can learn about it. But it's the hardest job to do it. Why? Because to be like Jesus is impossible. Is the most beautiful and perfect man that ever walked this planet. You're never going to be like them. Never going to be like him. You can imitate and you can follow his footsteps. It is the hardest job to do because sin is always going to continue and be there. This is why you need to ask for forgiveness. This is what I'm saying. Continuous ask for forgiveness. And you have to need to have a special relationship with him. Special relationship with him. That relationship is you and him, man. It's not you, your neighbor, you, your mom, you, your wife or your husband, you, your son, you, your daughter, you, your grandpa, grandma, you, your best friend, your best woman, whatever. It's not them. It's you and him. It's you and him. Be honest with him. Like, hey, God, I messed up, man. This is what I did. I don't know what you need to do, but I know that you work in mysterious ways. So put just an obstacle for me to just, pass it over and do this obstacle and learn from this mistake. And he will do it. Inevitably, he will do it. And you will make it. Every obstacle has a goal. Everything has a purpose. Everything, as I have learned in my life, everything has a purpose in life. It's beautiful to have these purposes in life because everything that is done, you met somebody and you're like, oh my God, this is a beautiful, beautiful human being. When I met Chuck, let me just give you three people that I have met that have completely, four people that I have met that have completely helped my life to get better. One of them is Ben Berquam. He's my brother from Real America's Boys News correspondent. He's my brother. When I met him, he's tall, white guy. I had a lot of white guy friends, kind of, in his own atmosphere, in his own way, in his own bubble. He believes in his own things. And I started having a relationship with him just here, there. When we started being Brothers is when we started traveling each other. And I started trusting him and he started trusting me. But it's the following of God's footsteps. He's a family man. He believes in God. So I started hanging around all these Christians. I'm not a Christian. So I started hanging around all these Christians. And, you know, and when I started hanging around with them, magically things started getting better. I don't know why. Things started getting better. Doors started opening. Every time, we have breakfast, pray. We're walking. Oh man, this happened because of God. Oh, let's pray. And it was weird for me. It's like, why are we praying all the time? Why are we doing this? It's just, I know that we gotta say thank you, but why are we doing this? And I have become a better man since I started, hanging out with him, talking to him on a normal. I love him. He's my brother. Then I can tell you about another one, Matthew Tomlin. He's my brother in Panama. Beautiful human being, is the most humble man that I ever met in my life. That guy, give him hell every time, make jokes about him, and he loves me, man, unconditionally. That man taught me about loving God. Most beautiful man that helped me, most humble man that I ever met in my life. It's a beautiful man, his family, beautiful heart. Then I met Chuck Colton, and he's a mentor in my life. Changed my life completely about how to handle financial, how to handle. He was more methodical about things. Like, Oscar, why you're doing bad on finances, man? Well, this is what's going on, Chuck. Well, you're spending money here, you're spending money there. Cut this. Bah, you need to do this. Do this, do that, do that. Bah, bah, bah. Why are you doing bad? And like, oh, well, when I get there, I hope that I get there. And like, you're going to get there. Just continue to just follow the Lord's way. These three people have been a pinnacle in my life since, and I will tell you, since 2 to 3 years ago, man. Change, and you hang out with the right people at the right time. Things positively are going to change to the positive, and there are going to be great things happening to you, phenomenal things happening to you. It is they're not, and I'm just speaking on a religious way, because these are people that are Christians. But I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't have to be Christians. You can hang out with evangelists, you can hang out with Catholics, you can hang out whoever you prefer, whatever the preference that you believe that it will give you a better life. Hang out with these people that they are successful, people that they will push your limits, and they will help you to become a better human being. Why are you hanging out with people that they're just always hating on you, always stabbing you in the back, always telling you that it's, then be the person that changed their perspective. Be that game changer. Be that game changer to change that perspective. These people are just like, oh my God, they're criticizing me all the time. Be the game changer. And then later on, they will be like, man, you have some, Oscar. You've been hanging in there, man. I've been criticizing you, and I've been going at you, man, hard for the past 3 to 4 to 5 years. And you've been consistent, man. I got to give it to you. You have your ways. I don't agree with you all the time, but you have your ways, man. I gotta shake your hand as a man and tell you. And this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We got to be consistent. As everybody's consistent in their jobs. If you're having a hard time, let me tell you, before I go, we go in an hour and 44 minutes. Lisa, I hope that Linda Goins, I hope that I answer your question. I put your comment right there. Have you ever considered running for government or politics? No, I don't. If you're hearing me speak, I'm pretty fluent when speaking in public. And I'm more fluent when I'm speaking to hundreds of people, because I explain myself the way that I am. But I will tell you, first and foremost, the problem comes at home, and what we believe in, what we believe in ourselves. We got to love ourselves, man. We got to love ourselves, whether you're overweight, whether you're not overweight, whether you have a disability, whether you don't have a disability. You got to love yourself. God has given you the opportunity to live. Is it with one leg? Is it without two legs? It's without one hand? Is it without a sickness? Let's be thankful. Sometimes I remember Ben telling me something. Man, my back was hurting. one day he was telling me my back was hurting so bad, and I was complaining about it. And then a pastor came and he said, "Hey, say thank you, Ben." And it's like, why am I going to say thank you if my back is hurting? Like, no, thank the Lord that you have a back, and then you can feel the pain in your back. Some people do not have a back. Some people cannot even stand. How in the hell are you not going to say thank you? Say thank you. It's like, Lord, thank you for just letting me feel this pain in my back, because now I have a back. I have a back. And because of that, I want to say thank you. So it is extremely important that we love each other. When we see each other in the mirror, we got to love each other, man. We got to love ourselves for who we are. Whether we're brown, white, whatever color. Color is not an optic. It is not an objective. And it is not an obstacle for you to not go out there and get it. And for you to go out there and be loved. You got to use this. You got to use this first and foremost. And you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to do anything. Never. Last question right here before I go. I have extended. Oscar, didn't you say you're considering to be baptized? Me too. And Jesus found me in 1987. But church is us, and God's Holy Spirit lives in us. And we communicate through our minds. Yes, I consider that's we believe in the same thing. I'm sorry for the people today that they think that I'm doing wrong. I apologize. I have never, I have never, lost my train of thought right there. I've never gone to church. I don't go to church. I don't go to church. I don't. I go every once in a while. I'm Catholic, but I'm really this close to baptizing as a Christian. Really this close. I'm this close, but I'm that close. I'm really that close. I'm hoping that I can get the opportunity and the courage to do that. But I will tell you, we need to understand that that I'm almost there. Everybody can have their change of thoughts. Everybody can do whatever they want with their lives. And I don't go to church. I don't usually go to church. And if I become Christian, I don't think that if I go to service, it will make me believe differently in Jesus. And possibly I will surround myself with people that they're preaching to Jesus, and I would love to feel that Holy Spirit and to feel that singing and people, all that kind of stuff. I will try, but I have always believed that the church is with ourselves and Jesus, and it's a personal relationship with God. So I've always prayed in random places. I'm driving. When I'm driving, I'm praying, and when I'm driving, I'm talking to him, and I'm saying, "Hey, you know what, man? And I talk to him like he's my best friend. I don't talk to him like, sir, oh my God, sir. No, I talk to him like, Lord, here I am. I'm going to get a burger. Just normal stuff. To think I should get it because I have been busting my butt the whole week on the gym. And I really want to feel fit and all this kind of stuff. Well, what should I do? And then all of a sudden, there's a salad bar right there. I'm like, you're telling me to get a salad. I'm like, you're always working with me, man. So that's kind of relationship, it's a personal relationship, man. Personal relationship that I have with him. So I'm this close. And the only one that I will allow, there's three people that I will allow for me to change to that and baptize. My brother Ben, my brother Matt, and my mentor Chuck. There's only three people that I will allow, that I will take that decision to say, you know what, man, I will put now my change of religion, my change of thoughts, and my change of beliefs into Christianity. So I will give that honor to you. I will give that honor to you. So I'm this close. I'm learning. I'm reading. So, that's what I'm doing. Oscar, we got to remember that one day we won't be a church building to go to. The church has to be inside of. Yes, absolutely. That's what I that's what I was saying. When you understand that reason, you are sealed. Well, I'm slowly getting there. Slowly. I got 10 more minutes, and we're going on 2 hours. 2 hours of Q&A. That's a lot of time, man. You're going on 7 o'clock at night. Um, I what was the comment? When you understand the reason you're, yeah, you know what? It has taken me a lot of decisions. I've been hanging out with a lot of Christians. That's the thing. My whole life I've been raised Catholic. I believe still. I strongly believe in the Virgen Maria de Guadalupe. That's my faith. A lot relies on her. A lot of Christians do not agree. Uh, but that's my belief, and I don't insult my beliefs because I don't insult yours. And a lot of people intend to insult me all the time, with that. And that's the thing that it pulls me away from and it completely depresses me from people that they're Christian, because they start insulting and they start telling you, no, you need to believe this and that, and it says on the book. And I'm like, I intend to do that. Why don't you just help me and educate me to just do that? But a lot of people intend to, no, this, and that is not the way. You need to be kind. You need to love each other. Well, Jesus used to be kind. I went to this place where I was in Jerusalem. I was outside in Northern Galilee. And when I was in Northern Galilee, Chuck took me to one of these places where he said, like, the Good Samaritan woman gave water from the well to Jesus from that spot. And I was like, oh, beautiful. So I learned that Jesus just arrived at this Good Samaritan woman and just asked for water. And the Good Samaritan woman, did she doubt it to give him water? Like, oh no, you're dirty, man. You got your shoes dirty and you're sweating and you kind of smell. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna. No, she didn't doubt. She immediately went to the well and got him water. Like, those are the kind of things that we need to understand. Like, don't judge, just it's slowly, it's a working process. It's a working process. And I'm there. I'm always there, and when it happens, it happens. And if it happens, it will be a beautiful moment, beautiful timing. God's timing is always perfect. He will do whenever he wants to do. And he will basically put me on the place whenever he wants me to put in the place, and I will ask for his forgiveness, and it will happen. It will happen in time. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you, every single one of you. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. Buy me a coffee is right there, pinned in the chat. Greatly appreciate your support, people. Thank you so much. Let me see if there were deliveries of coffees, because I don't want to be rude and not tell people thank you. So I am going to the coffee app, and I want to say thank you to the people that donated and helped tonight. And let me see. The app is working real slow. So I'm going there, people. I'm going there. I'm almost there. So I would like to thank Anonymous, Connie Barrier, Feisty Mick, and Anonymous. Also two Anonymous and Just an Acre. Thank you so much. You guys were the ones that donated tonight. Hopefully God will provide more so we can save money and we can go and travel as soon as we can. God bless you all. There has been 2 hours of me speaking. 2 hours of me speaking to you guys. And a Q&A that I usually used to do these kind of Q&As on Sundays. And, it's beautiful to do them because I talk to the audience, and the audience likes this. They like to talk to me, and I like to answer your comments, answer your questions, and ultimately get better, because you're the guys that you are my outlet. So, it's beautiful, to learn from you guys and to get better. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. God bless you.